Hello, everyone, and welcome back from break. This is your welcome video for the Intro to the Counseling Professions. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to just go through the syllabus a little bit and give you an idea of what I'm looking for, what the expectations are for the course, and then everything that you can expect from me throughout the semester. So, your Unit 1 video is actually going to be separate. So you will be responsible for watching both of them. When I do the videos during the semester, I try to make them short and sweet. Most of the feedback that I've received is that people want like a quick lecture. Some people have, though, mentioned that they wish that the lectures were a little bit longer. So I try to kind of meet everyone in the middle. And all right, let's see. Okay, so one of the biggest things when taking this course is people come in and they say, I'm expecting to learn more about counseling techniques and the actual process of counseling. That's not something that we learn in this course. We actually go through and talk about the different counseling professions that are available in the field. So we don't necessarily go too much into working with clients. That's going to be more in the intro to counseling. So what we do is we talk about what's counseling, what's a counselor, what settings do they work in, what is a difference among them, what credentials do you need to become a counselor. And I know that the course description with the university says something about social work, but we primarily focus on counseling just because social work does require like different credentials. They require different different focuses and scopes and things that you have to do during your study, such as like internships and stuff like that. And their licensing exams are also different. So we don't delve too much into that. I know a lot of social work students do take this course. It is really good still informationally, but we don't dive too much into social work. So some of the counseling professions that we talk about are mental health counselors, addiction counselors, school counselors, industrial organization, psychology, or counselors, university counselors, and stuff like that. So we go through a pretty big array of the different counseling professions. So for the textbook, it's the Sage Guide to Careers for Counseling and Clinical Practice. I have been using this book, I want to say, for maybe 3 or 4 years now. So if you can get your hands on it from someone who previously took this course, that's your best bet. Otherwise, it's pretty small. It's very straight to the point. You can get it off of Amazon. It's available in the university bookstore. So that shouldn't be too bad. I'm not one about having a textbook where there's just like tons of information you're going to be reading. The chapters are seriously only a couple of pages long. It just gives you the necessary information that I'm trying to get across for that counseling profession, and that's pretty much it. They do an interview of a counseling professional towards the end of every chapter, which some people think is really cool. So it's just very straight to the point. So by the end of this course, I want you to be able to understand the diverse counseling fields and how they are different and unique from one another, the different considerations of the counseling professionals and being a counselor, period. Develop an appreciation for the challenges and professional issues in each of the counseling professions, expand your awareness, and demonstrate the ability to research and present information. So the way that you're going to find that this course is set up, and in a minute I'm going to go into the course requirements, which is all of the assignments and all of that stuff. But what I tried to do with this course, and I do go through and I try to update it, sometimes each semester, sometimes it's yearly. I did add a couple of assignments this most recent, or in reading materials, this most recent update. But there are different challenges that each counseling profession faces. So for example, when we're taking a look at like adolescent counselors, we are looking at childhood trauma. And we're going to see that even, in like addiction counseling, mental health counseling, and that kind of thing. But when we're talking about prevention, we're taking a look at adolescent counselors and the things that they can do and screen for to kind of intervene early So we'll be looking at that. We will also be looking at racial trauma. We will be taking a look at suicide for the university counselors. So we are going to be talking about different issues that are very prevalent in our society and talking about how that impacts the counseling profession. So you will be learning a lot about the actual counseling profession, but you're going to notice that we're talking about a lot of societal things as well. So I really like that about the course, the freedom of being able to talk about systemic issues and things that we're noticing that we really should be able to advocate for change for in our societies through the counseling profession. So that's something I really enjoy about how I've developed this course and updating it and having open discussions with you guys and all of that kind of stuff. So you will notice that a lot of it is geared towards like textbook counseling stuff, but we will also be opening that up to other things as well. So with that being said, there are a number of different elements to this course. So we have unit assignments, discussion boards, quizzes, papers, and journal prompts. So first things first, if you're following along with me in the syllabus, unit assignments. We have 5 unit assignments. They're worth 20 points each. You will have a unit assignment for units 1 through 5. So with these, you are going through, taking a look at all of the different materials that you were supposed to review for that unit. So going through and reading the chapters in the book, watching the YouTube or the TED Talk or reading the supplemental article. You're going to do all that stuff first, and then you're going to take a look at the unit assignment. Some people prefer to open the unit assignment first to see, what they need to focus a little bit more on as far as the materials. But all in all, the unit assignment is like a cumulative assignment for that unit. So it's going to have questions regarding each of the materials that you were supposed to read or review for that unit. And these, honestly, a lot of them are, there is a correct answer, but a lot of them are also very subjective. Like, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to know your stance on this particular issue or what your opinion was on the article or the video that you viewed. So these are generally supposed to be more reflective, if anything. One of the things that students typically want to know about the unit assignment is like, what is the word count that you want to have per question? I'm looking for responses. Like, the way that I used to describe this is like, I want a sufficient response. I want a couple paragraphs. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know how you are kind of internalizing and understanding the material. Like, I want pretty sufficient responses. So students started to really be flexible with that. So unfortunately, I do believe I have to put like a word count requirement on each of the responses. So I'm going to say I want about 250 to 300 words per response. Like, I want a good chunk. I want to know your reflection. I want to know how you're learning or what your perspective is. So for each question in the unit assignment, even if it's like a very straightforward question, expand. Tell me why you feel that way, or tell me why you think that is in the counseling profession, or, why they said that, or this was the finding in the article. So really just go through and expand. That's all I'm looking for. As an online class, we don't have as much of an opportunity for that face-to-face interaction, that dialogue in a classroom. We don't have the option of having like a mixed method where we have, we meet once a week and we have a lecture and then class discussion. It's just not the way that this course has ever been set up. So I want to know how you're actually processing things. You guys will have an opportunity to kind of reflect and bounce ideas off of one another in the discussion board, but I'll get there when I get there in the syllabus. So that's it for the unit assignments. For the quizzes, there's 3 of them. They're 25 questions each. What I do is I will go through in that unit's unit video. And I will give you the answer to 2 of the questions that students have most commonly had difficulty on. So this is basically a reward for watching the unit video, because sometimes students don't do that and they kind of just try to scoot by in the course. So it's very, very, very important to watch the unit videos. There's going to be a lot of answers. There's going to be direction. It's very obvious to me when people are not watching the unit video. So just make sure you're doing that. So for the quizzes, they are not timed. But you cannot open them and then go back to them. I receive a lot of emails during the semester of people who open them and then close them to do them later. You can't do that. Once you open it, you have to do it in that moment. So make sure you have some time set aside. They are open book. Some people find them relatively easy. Some people find them a little challenging, but some questions are very detail oriented, but they're not meant to trick you. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. So for journal prompts, you're going to have 5 of these as well, and these are 10 points each. So these journal prompts are completely private between you and I. These are not journal prompts that are going to be seen by other people in the class. So please feel free to be transparent and vulnerable, if you will. And for these are also, the prompts are also going to be discussed in that week's unit video. These are not posted anywhere. So I do get a lot of emails as well of people asking me where to find the journal prompt. These are announced in the unit video. So it will be included in the unit video for that week. These also, I would say, maybe 100 to 150 word count. They're meant to be relatively brief, but I also had students once giving me like 1 sentence answers. Please don't. Please take some time on these. 100 to 150 words, okay? So, your paper. So you're going to complete 1 paper this semester. This is an advocacy paper. So I will be going through and discussing the expectations and the requirements for this paper throughout the semester. We do break it up a little bit. I make sure that everyone knows what is meant by advocacy. We go through and get your paper topic approved. And then we talk a little bit about what the expectations are for the paper. So advocacy. So what I want you to do for this paper is you're going to choose a vulnerable population that someone in the counseling professions will be serving. So this could look like the homeless population, minorities. Some people have specifically chosen like the Black Lives Matter. This could be, children who have experienced childhood trauma. This could be, individuals who struggle with addiction. Individuals within the developmentally disabled population. So there's a lot that we're going to go through that you can choose from. And it doesn't even have to be a population that we discuss in the course. As long as they are someone who would be included in receiving services in the counseling profession, you're usually pretty good to go. So you are going to do a research paper on this and basically do some research. Find some articles that really demonstrate why this is a vulnerable population and why they need advocating for. So we will talk about the specifics of that paper a little bit later. So just keep that on your radar as we're going through in the beginning of the course and talking about the different populations as we go through the unit. So if you have any questions about that kind of up front, let me know. But I do have an entire outline of what I'm looking for in the papers and projects section, which you can find on the toolbar in UB Learns. So I'm not going to go through and talk about the specifics of our tracking calendar, but what I am going to say is that our course is scheduled in units of every 2 weeks. I find that this is most helpful in terms of processing information and students taking their time and not rushing, so don't be a procrastinator. But also it helps for me in grading as well. It gives me 2 weeks. I believe there's about 70 students in this course. So it takes a little bit to get through grading, especially when there's more than one assignment due for that unit. So we will always start on a Monday and end on a Sunday. So you will have almost 2 full weeks, and the specific dates are going to be outlined in your tracking calendar. So for grading, all assignments will always be completed the end of the following unit. So for example, we start the semester today. It is August 29th. And your assignments are not going to be due until September 11th. So then you start Unit 2 September 12th. I have by the end of Unit 2 to grade all of your assignments. Sometimes I'm a little quicker than that, and you'll see your grades sooner than that, but I always give myself at least 2 weeks to grade the following units assignments. So any extensions, here is the thing. I've been doing this a long time, and I've seen a lot of things, and because of the things that I have noticed with students, I have to be very firm with deadlines. So all of your assignments are due by the end of that unit. The only way that I will accept any late assignments is if you email me before the end of that unit requesting an extension. The reason for that is because I don't want this to become something where students forget about the assignments and then kind of try to finish them all up right after the deadline or like during that unit. One, I'm very big on fairness. That's not fair to students who were able to get their assignments in on time. And two, it really brings a whole bunch of other assignments into the next unit that I have to grade, and that takes up my time. So I want to be sure that we are submitting all assignments by the deadline unless you request and get approved for an extension before the end of that unit or before the assignments are due. I also had quite a few students skipping out on the first half of the semester and then trying to play catch up at the end. And that's not conducive for learning. And it's not a good situation. So we're not going to do that. So unfortunately, if you do end up missing the first however many units and then you try to catch up later, it's not going to be a thing. So I'm sorry about that, but it's just something that I've learned over time that I have to do. I've been in some pretty messy situations with that, and it's uncomfortable. Academic integrity. So this is huge. It's unfortunate that I've seen this almost every semester, so I just try to nip it right away. One, Safe Assign is something that I utilize, which has every assignment that any student has ever submitted within the university. Electronically. So I have had students who had friends that took the course previous and went and copied and pasted the exact assignment into the Dropbox, and it comes up as a 100% match. That is plagiarism. If you go and you take a friend's assignment who took the course before, and you go in and you go through and change some of the wording and change some of the responses, it's still going to come up as a 70% match, and it's going to match me directly to that student's paper. So please just don't do that. It's very, very uncomfortable for me. And I know that it's very uncomfortable for the students. And, I would hope that in whatever tours that you had to do at the university or, messages that you're getting from other professors, that what plagiarism is and isn't, and you just know not to do it. Because I have had students say to me, oh, I didn't know, or I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have done it. I'm telling you right now, please just don't do it. It's so uncomfortable. I have to go and I have to file paperwork with the department if it happens, and it's not fun for anyone. So just please make sure you're using your own original work. Don't reuse a paper from a previous class. Don't do any of that. So it's expected that all of your work is original, and that's just where I'm going to leave that. Okay. Course evaluations come up at the end of the semester. Any feedback is always very much appreciated. If you do need counseling services, the university does have a counseling center. The information's in the syllabus, but always please reach out to me if you need anything. I did receive some accommodations from some students. This course is very it pretty much meets all of the accommodation requests for students that have ever taken the course. Our quizzes aren't timed. There's 2 weeks between assignments. Like, you should be pretty good. So let's see here. All right. So that's pretty much it for the syllabus. So I'm going to wrap this up, and then in a couple of minutes, I'm going to do your Unit 1 video. So any questions, please let me know. I know that the welcome video is usually like pretty firm because I'm like going through expectations. I'm very, very laid back. I'm a human. When I'm not teaching, I'm actually a therapist. I have my own private practice. I work in the nonprofit sector each and every day. So I can speak from experience on almost every issue that we are going to have come up in the course. I've served in a number of counseling roles, so I'm very familiar with the different counseling professions. So if you need absolutely anything, please let me know. Ask questions. I'm always available by email. Usually it takes me about 24 to 48 hours to respond. But if you do need anything, like, I'm always available. Please reach out to me and use me as a resource. All right? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and record Unit 1 in just a second, and I will see you in a few minutes.